Welcome to Inside City Hall. I'm your host, Mayor Darrell Seymore, and today on our show we have our City Engineer Shane Hemesath. Shane,
it's
welcome.
Good to see you, Mayor.
Yeah. God's got a few things tore up in town.
A little bit, making some progress.
Well, that's good. That's good. We got a little bit of underline roads going on, and we have, they're doing that night project along the Deuce Clubs. How's that going?
It's going very well. Actually, it's a 12-inch water main we're installing from about 8th Avenue, right across from Safeway, all the way down the Deuce Clubs, directly into the sidewalk, all the way down to Central. It's a big project for us, but they are doing it at night, which is really limits to the impact to the businesses, to the people around town. We're going to stop at 3rd Drive. That's our first phase. We're going to hit pause for about a month and let the summer festivities, 4th of July, things like that happen. Then you'll see them continue on from there. But it should be buttoned up to the point where it's definitely passable and more decent for the public here in a couple of weeks.
Right. It's one of those things that it's a little more costly because we have to put it under the sidewalk. We have to tear off the existing sidewalk, and too bad it's not an area that's the concrete's all in bad shape or rotted out from. It's concrete doesn't rot, but chipped out from all of the snow removal and stuff like that. But
unfortunately, we had to go into the sidewalk. It was the only place in that corridor. There's a lot of utilities on the Deuce Clubs, and that's the only place we could fit that in there. But the good news is we'll have a nice, pristine new sidewalk and driveways for everybody here when we're done as well. So
that's great.
Yeah, it's good.
The other thing we have out here as we turn to go towards Snowflake and St. John's area, there's a lot of stuff going on out there where the car dealerships are, and Maverick and that whole intersection through there. Let's explain that. I guess ADOT's involved with that as well, and
yes,
what we have going on there.
You bet. It's an ADOT project. It was in their 5-year construction plan. It started back in 2011, 2012, the design for it. There was some threats to cancel the job, but luckily the communities and the whole region kind of voiced their concerns with ADOT, and ADOT kept it in the schedule. And we're excited to see it be bid and actually be constructed this year. It actually came a year ahead of schedule. It wasn't supposed to happen until 2018. So we applaud all the efforts to make it happen. But the project consists of rebuilding the intersection at State Route 77 and US 60, right there by Maverick, the gas station, and the intersection of Penrod Road. That's, I think, going to be the greatest improvement, is that intersection is going to be expanded to really allow some better turn lanes, line up the intersection much safer. Then they're also going to widen the highway, US 60, heading east, 5 lanes, all the way through past 40th Street in Cholo, which is about 1.33 miles. Pretty good stretch. And then once it passes the 40th Street, which is out by the pellet mill, it'll taper back down to the existing condition. But really relieve congestion, help with the commercial and the industrial traffic that's on that end of town. And I think our commuters to the east will really see a benefit as well, east and north as well.
Right. So now then all 4 sides of that intersection will have sidewalk, and everything will tie together with what some of those areas have. I know a long time Maverick's kind of been just sitting there and kind of on a little island, but
kind of by itself. Yeah, this is the last piece of sidewalk all the way from 260 to State Route 77 is that missing piece right there, and that'll all be completed as well. So it's all being tied together. Yeah.
And there, now, when do they think that project may be done or completed?
So construction started about 2 weeks ago in late May. They are aiming to be wrapped up by about Halloween, the end of October.
Okay.
Might bleed a little bit into November, but by then we're getting into winter shutdown and things need to stop. But they do plan on having everything paved out, everything completed by about the end of October. They will have to come back next summer, I think in June, and do the surface on it, a friction course. So they'll have to chip seal it one more time to kind of seal it all up. And that can only be done in the summers when the temperatures allow it. So we missed that window, but the main construction will be done by this fall.
Now, though, will there be new lighting, intersection lighting, and everything as far as signal lights and things that way too?
Yes, and the arms are going to be much larger because we're expanding the intersection. So there'll be a brand new signal there installed. New lighting at the intersection as well, just right there at the US 60-77 intersection. Yeah.
I know it took a little bit of planning ahead of time. About last year we were working on the in the right-of-way there, moving all of the lines wider and making that happen. So a project like this doesn't just all of a sudden happen. I know you guys were involved with a lot of the preparation that had to take place first.
We did. We were pretty involved out there last year. Actually, a lot of the utility companies were out there. I know the gas company, Frontier, I think everybody had to move some utilities out there to allow for this construction to happen. There's new culverts going in, new drainage, new ditches, so we had to make sure everything that we had out there was deep enough, if not remove it. The big one for us was the water line kind of near the auto mall had to get lowered because it was too high, it was elevated too high. And we went ahead and put some crossings in just for future anticipation of what could be built in that end of town as well. So trying to stay ahead of the roadway, that's for sure. Yeah.
Well, it's going to make an attractive entrance to Shoalo from that end of the town when you come in by, if you fly out there to the airport, or we have a lot of people there at the car dealerships, and just a lot of people commute from Snowflake. They commute from St. John's, Round Valley area. That is a very busy intersection in the morning and in the evening. So we're really fortunate that we haven't had more major traffic accidents at that intersection, and this definitely should help alleviate any future ones.
Oh, definitely relieve congestion, and it'll be a much safer a signal, and as far as entry into town. The construction's never fun, but bear with us for 6 months, and then it'll be a good improvement when we're done.
That's great. Yeah. Talk a little bit about what's coming up with our local streets here. We're getting ready to do our slurry seal projects, and how is that going to happen, and what time frame do we see slurry sealing starting? You bet.
So every year we apply a slurry seal to our roadways within the city. We have a 6-year rotation, a cycle. So every roadway in town gets hit every 6 years. That'll actually begin in about a week from now. We're aiming for June 13th to start. It lasts about a month, so it'll continue most of June and maybe a week and a half into July. You've probably seen the city crews already out there. We try to get ahead with crack fill and major patching. So anything that's really kind of blown apart, we try to patch and crack fill up. And then that slurry seal comes right on top and really just is aimed to preserve the structural section that's in place right now. It's a maintenance course. It's kind of a sacrificial course, but it really seals out the moisture and helps really let that asphalt last a lot longer. It's our preventative maintenance practice here in the city.
Right. So. I mean, it's one of those things that our roads are getting older, and whatever we can do to continue to get life out of them is, something. I know we replace a good portion of our roads, every year as well, but just trying to keep up with the amount of miles that we have of asphalt is a very big expense.
It is, and you got to maintain. Even if you see a really good road, you got to keep maintaining. You can't just not touch it for years, otherwise it will deteriorate very quickly. So this helps maintain what we have. And you speak of replacing roads, and we just finished a really big roadway reconstruction project in Park Valley, which is our major roadway reconstruction project for this year. And a lot of roadways got completely rebuilt as a part of that. That was off 19th Avenue, Whipple, Stratton, over there on the west side of town. Yeah, and that was a good project. That just wrapped up this week.
Oh, so that's fantastic.
We're getting out of there.
Yeah, that's the thing you don't realize is just, you may not see anything going on because you never drive over there, but yet that's a large portion of our community, and so those people are going to be a lot happier. Oh,
you bet. That was quite a amount of homes in there. We're going to see a new road in front of their house. I bet they're happy.
Great.
Yeah.
Anything else happening this summer or coming up with tearing up projects or making driving a little more complicated?
Well, we're right on the cusp of the new budget year, so we're waiting for the budget to get approved here in the next few weeks, and then rolling into July, our new budget year, we're going to try to get ahead of some smaller water sewer jobs around town. We're going to try to, I believe, the 10th Drive near Safeway is one we're trying to get hammered out this summer as well, get done pretty quickly. So there might be some more construction around Safeway, which is already a congested area, I understand. But once again, the improvement will really allow for a much better access in and out of there.
Right. If you don't do it, then it gets a lot longer project to make it fix it what we didn't fix.
Exactly.
For sure. Cool. Well, Shane, I appreciate you being with us today and sharing this insight on some of these projects that we have coming up. Thanks for what you do.
You got it. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next segment of Inside City Hall, where we'll be talking about the 4th of July activities. Welcome back to Inside City Hall. Now we have Recreation Supervisor Carrie Peppard with us. Welcome, Carrie.
Good morning.
Glad to have you with us today.
Thank you.
Share with us a little bit about, we're getting close to our real big, spectacular 4th of July.
We certainly are. It's getting closer than I'd like it to.
Well, it's heating up, and we're getting a few thunderhead clouds out there, so things are starting to line up. As you'd say, the stars are in alignment for that time of year again. So it's great.
Yes. And we will be ready. So
share with us some of the things that we have going on. A lot of the people are familiar with what we always do, but if there's anything that's changed, but just kind of go through the events of the day and some of the things that are going to happen here for the 4th of July.
Absolutely. So we'll start off with our 9 a.m. parade. Travels down the Deuce of Clubs from Owens, just about the corner of Safeway there. We travel down Deuce of Clubs to White Mountain Boulevard, and then they head southbound to Hall, so right in front of the Kentucky Fried Chicken there, and then we tuck around the corner and they head back to City Hall to D-Stage. So you can just about line up anywhere along the Deuce of Clubs between Safeway and Chase Bank there on the corner, and that's a great opportunity to see the parade. We generally have about 125 floats that participate, so it's a wonderful event. We toss candy from the curb. No tossing candy from the float. I'd like to help encourage that, as I do every year. We don't want children running out into the street. So it is a safety hazard for our community. So we'd like you to take those precautions. You can have curbside walkers. You can have even people on bicycles or even a quad by the curb and throw it to the crowd as opposed, but we definitely feel very strongly about absolutely no throwing candy from the float, because we want to keep those kids out of the street. Want everybody to go home safe and have a good holiday. So
yeah, that's for sure. Tell us a little bit. Is there a wet zone this year where any water going to be?
Yes, we do have a wet zone. So during the parade, if I may, real quick, we'll have traffic detoured. So we use Whipple to Wolford and then out to White Mountain Boulevard. So if you're traveling, if you're looking to go eastbound, you're going to cut up on Whipple and take that over to Wolford and pop out on White Mountain Boulevard. And then, of course, westbound, you're going the opposite way. You're going to go to White Mountain Boulevard, over to Wolford, and on back. And then, yes, our wet zone follows the parade. We do it out at Frontier Park. We used to do it at the very end of the parade there, and just this last couple of years, we wanted to make it a separate event. So Timber Mesa Fire Department, those gentlemen are great. They do so much for us on the 4th, not to mention lighting our fireworks. But they bring the big truck out and they shoot the water off the top of the fire truck there so the kids can run under the big spout there. We have the sprinklers going, all the sprinklers on the field, so they can run underneath those. Slip and slides, we've got some water guns, lots of fun water games going on. So just bring them out in their swimsuits to the parade, let them or swimsuits underneath their shorts and clothing, and then bring them over to Frontier Park after that, which is just there on 9th Street, just behind the Navajo County building, or you'd know, Daryl, exactly where we are, right there behind your office as well. So
that's great. So a great place to cool off after the parade.
Yes, great opportunity. So bring the kids out and let them run around and get wet.
Carrie, for people that are traveling, getting to the parade, or maybe that are traveling through Show Low, when will the traffic kind of stop at those blocked off areas, and when does the detour kind of start time-wise there?
So we start the parade at 9 a.m. sharp, and we're generally done by 10:30 with the parade. We take about a half hour. City crew goes by and cleans up the trash and everything, and the street sweeper runs through fairly quickly. So I would say a safe bet would be 11 o'clock. We'll have streets open back up.
Okay, that's fantastic. The crews do a lot to make that happen. There's a lot of roads, but one of the great things the way that Show Low has is we can close the main part, and local traffic and through traffic can pretty much wind their way around and get around us the event that we're having. So it's a great way to travel. One of the things that I know that's a little bit different this year, in the past they have always had the breakfast down there, the biscuits and gravy at the statue, but right now this year they're not going to do that.
Correct.
So I'm not sure when the statue is going to be returned there, and so that's one of the event that we look forward to having, ribbon cutting on that coming up, but this year there won't be the biscuits and gravy that has been there. So following the parade after the wet zone, what do we have going on in the afternoon?
We kick off our Freedom Fest, which is at Sholo High School. We are fortunate enough that we utilize both their fields. So their practice field is where we set up our giant kid zone. We've got lots of events. We've got a rock wall this year, bounce houses, a wrecking ball, obstacle courses, tons of rides going out there. We've got unlimited ride wristbands for $10. The rides will go from 3 o'clock till 8:30, and fireworks go at 9, so we try to wrap them up about 8:30. Of course, if you're still in line, we're going to work through the rest of the line. But lights do go out at 9 o'clock for the fireworks show. But our vendors keep going. We've got lots of great food vendors out there, lots of new vendors we're bringing in this year. So you're going to be able to get all the same delicious treats you've known to love in the past. We'll have funnel cakes and Navajo tacos and nachos and hot dogs, kettle corn, but we're also going to have Dole Whip and lots of new items that we haven't had in the past, cotton candy. But you're more than welcome. We do encourage you to take advantage of the food vendors and the delicious treats, but you're more than welcome to bring in a packed lunch if you'd like. Bring a blanket or a camping chair. Of course, we do have the bleachers out there as well, but the field is usually packed, and I love to see that. That tells me that, the community's all turned out, and so, I do love that. But we've got lots of great bands going all night. 3 o'clock.
What are some of the bands that we have this year coming?
We have a local band, Strange Brew, playing at 3. One of our very own Public Works employees is actually the drummer in that band. Okay. Phil Myers, if I may. He's probably going to kill me for that.
All right, Phil.
But come see Phil.
Shout out to Phil.
Come see Phil at 3 o'clock for Strange Brew. And then we, at 4:15, we have Arizona Blacktop. We've got a lot of, Strange Brew does a country classic rock mix. Arizona Blacktop does country and then some pop. We have 5:30, we have Plum Crazy, which they're a Payson favorite. And they do a lot of classic rock as well, mixed with country. We try to, give the people a little bit of everything that they would love. 6:45, we have our Invocation Prayer. We do the announcement of the parade winners. The Sholo High School comes out. The choir sings a couple songs, which we added them for the first time last year, and they did such a wonderful job. I don't know if anybody got a chance to see it, but I'd encourage you to come out. We're there at Cougar Field, so I love to have some of those Cougars out there singing, but the choir did a beautiful job, and they're going to do God Bless America and then the Star Spangled Banner. We'll do a flag-raising ceremony, and then at 7:30 we have Drew Cooper and the Calvary. So they're our headliner this year. He's opened up for greats like Toby Keith. He's played Country Thunder. He is making quite a name for himself, and he's a fantastic musician, so I hope you come out and check him and his band out. They'll shut down at 9 for the fireworks, which is usually about a half hour, because we do a beautiful, long-lasting firework display with a great finale. I think it's the biggest in the White Mountains. I dare you to challenge that. But and then Drew Cooper comes back on following the fireworks at 9:30, and they play till 10 o'clock. So
that's great. So it's good to have, after the fireworks, because it's congested. It doesn't make sense to try to go anywhere because it takes a little while for the traffic outside to let that clear out. So you might as well just sit there and listen to music a little bit longer because there's not too far that you're going to go very far other than to your car.
And just trickle out a little slower, a little at a time. We turn the lights back on for that last half hour, and Sholo PD does a fantastic job, not only with the parade, but helping with our traffic control at the end of the night, so they'll lead you in the right direction from the high school. But it is a Tuesday night. We are doing it on the 4th itself, as we do every year, but there's no better spot than to see the fireworks and to see the show. It's all free to come to Freedom Fest, so you can't beat it, just come out and sit out on the field. Everybody, even in the kids zone last year, just sat down on the grass, and you could see everybody's faces just lit up with the fireworks. And it's really, of course I take pride in it because I love it. It's one of my favorite events, but it's really kind of magical out there.
It is.
So.
There's a difference from seeing it on the field underneath it as opposed from a distance too. That a lot of people, I love being on the field with it. We also want to remind people, because it is at Sholo School, we appreciate the hospitality that our school district allows us to have and to use their facility, but we need to remind people that they have their rules there, which is it's an alcohol and drug-free zone because it is a school. So
Absolutely.
just remember that we are on school property and we have to abide by, you know, the things that they have going on with their rules and their regulations that we have. So Carrie, I appreciate what you do to make the Freedom Festival, to make the parade. You know, I think one of the great things is people say, when does the parade start? It starts at 9 o'clock, and I really love the fact that at 9 o'clock you've got somebody starting right down at the very beginning, because, you know, that's really what it's all about, is make it happen on time.
Yes,
Great.
9 a.m. We do start sharp every year. Our color guard's out there. You usually see me right there in the front of the line. I do encourage people to please stay on the sidewalk and try to stay out of the street. We do have things like we've got the rat rods that come out every year. We have a local podiatrist, Dr. Jarman, that brings about 20 or so rat rods. We have the cool skid steer, but they back off the trailer, they do some tricks, and they hop back on the trailer. And it's really impressive, and that's what makes it wonderful and fun, but we need to keep the kids out of the street to make sure everybody's safe and has a wonderful holiday.
Let's have a safe 4th of July.
Yes.
It's always one of the things that we have when we have a lot of people. And being a Tuesday, you know, a lot of people are going to be closed Monday and Tuesday, but let's come up, and we encourage people to come and enjoy the 4th of July in the White Mountains, because it is Shoalo, a great tradition that we have.
It is. We get a terrific turnout, and I just love it.
It's great. What are some other events that you have? We have just a few minutes that you might have coming up before the 4th of July and maybe after the 4th of July, going into August a little bit here. Absolutely.
June 9th, we have Moana at Frontier Park. We show it on our giant, it's about a 20-foot projector screen. It's also another little event that I implemented, and so, of course, I take great pride in it. But I love it. I had a single mother as a child, and it's something you can come do for free. So even if you don't have a lot of money, bring your kids out. You can pack a little snack from home, bring your blankets, your camping chairs, but it's a great atmosphere out in the park. It's, you know, it's a beautiful night, and the weather's just been wonderful, and I expect it will be this Friday. We also, I ordered a little Moana and a little background beach scene and an inflatable surfboard. So we're going to have a little photo booth where your child can come and take a picture with Moana. And then we also have a lei. So we're going to put a lei around everybody's neck as you come in the gate. So really, it's a great experience, and I really hope the community comes out. You know, bring your kids out and enjoy Disney's Moana in the park. It'll start at 8 o'clock sharp. We have to wait, of course, for the sun to go down and for it to be completely dark. So that's the need for the late start. But it'll run from 8 to 10 o'clock. Bring the kids out. That's June 9th at Frontier Park. And then following that, we've done the new Star Wars these past couple years, and we've had a terrific turnout. So June 23rd, we'll do Star Wars Rogue One. So that's the newest edition in the Star Wars franchise. And that'll start at 8 o'clock as well, also at Frontier Park. I encouraged, last year we had some folks out there in costume. So I encourage that. Put on your Star Wars
gear. Bring your laser gun, everything.
That's right. Bring the lightsaber, bring your Stormtrooper helmet, bring whatever you got, and dress up and come join us. It's a great bunch. We do have concessions available as well. We have kettle corn and all that goodness. But you're more than welcome to bring your treats in and come enjoy. Following June 23rd, we go into the 4th of July. And really that's kind of it for me. In August, we do have a few things planned. We do have an Apple Festival in the works. So in the past, it's been our Mountain Music Jubilee, where we've brought out a couple bands. This year, we're launching an Apple Festival. So we're going to do an apple pie eating contest. We're going to have lots of bobbing for apples and apple-related games. We'll have vendors with lots of apple food for you to try. And we're also going to do a baking contest with judges. So look for more information for that. You know, everything's on sholoaz.gov on our event calendar. We're also on Facebook now at City of Shoalo Parks and Recreation. So please follow us, please like us, please share it with your friends. We're trying to get the word out best we can.
That's awesome. Well, Carrie, we appreciate what you do, appreciate the activities. That's what's fun about living in a small community. We can do these type of things, and hopefully we can continue to keep them safe in the environment and just have a wonderful time up here.
Absolutely.
So,
Thank you,
so
Mayor.
much.
I appreciate it so
All right,
much. Thank you.
Thanks for joining with us today on City Hall. And if you have any questions, you can call us here. And we just hope that you have a safe 4th of July and have a great day. Thank you.